Hi Twin Flames, hi light workers, Lisha and I'm here again with another video. I am so excited to be able to present this video to you guys. Like I told you, I've been channeling a lot of divine masculine energy over the last few days, and it's been really strong, okay, because um, I had been singing some songs and recording them for my Instagram page, my main Instagram page, which is Lisha and I'm One Love, and I always put that in the description box. And it brought up a song, like I told you guys in the last video of the Celebrity Twin Flame High Status Twin Flame Connection video. I have been listening to songs that I hadn't heard in a long time, and the particular song that we're gonna talk about today is one of those songs. And so I was scrolling through. There's a group called Varday, and they are based out of London, I believe, and they have been doing amazing a cappella vocals and putting them in snippets so that different singers can sing along with them and do the lead while they do the harmony. And so, I decided I was going to go ahead and I made all of last week about Varday, and just really kind of was feeling connected to their style and, as artists, and just appreciating the ability for, to hear the harmony in the male voice. It's just so beautiful, when you hear that harmony. I used to listen to Take Six. They're another really great a cappella group, and that was another one from the excuse me, from the 90s that I would listen to. But this particular song, Kiss from a Rose by Seal, was one that I used to love singing because, for me, for some reason, I tend to enjoy singing male, songs that were written by males, or songs that, were made to be sung by males. For some reason, I love to sing it. And so, I have kind of a wide octave range, and a lot of times I can hit the lower notes. And so, it was just really amazing to, like I said, to blend my voice in with this group Varday, and to see how it really sounded at the end. I was just really amazed. And so it just, not only that, it was just the song, it just, since I had to read the lyrics and go over it again to make sure I was getting them right, I was starting to realize, what? Just like I told you guys in the last video, sometimes these songs or these things that you experience take on a new meaning because you're experiencing it from a different perspective. You're experiencing it now from the perspective of someone who's on the twin flame journey, and it becomes more significant to you. You start to realize that there are certain things that you can pick up, and and that start to really it starts to really fall into fall in line with the twin flame journey. Okay, so I was starting to realize some of the synchronicities, things falling into place from the twin flame journey that were in this song. And so I didn't know at the time that I recorded the little snippet that I was going to make this video. But as time went on, I kept listening to this song, and the rendition that I sang with this group over and over again, and it just, the lyrics just kept jumping out to me, and for some reason I just felt there was a message coming through. And sure enough, the divine masculine's energy was really strong, telling me that they would love for me to tell people about this song and how it relates to them in a channeled message to their divine feminines. So this is going to be Kiss from a Rose by Seal, a channeled message from the divine masculine to the divine feminine. Okay? And it is going to be a really amazing message. So I hope you guys are ready. This is going to be much more of a lighter subject than what we've been talking about lately. And so sometimes in this particular song, there are deep moments. So it might not be, there might be some deep moments too. So we're going to delve right on in here and find out. And Spirit was giving me some crazy things. I like to tell you guys the story behind the story, but I was already, like feeling a little wary about doing this video because, some of the things the Spirit was telling me to say, I was just like, really? I mean, I'm like, and we'll get to it. When we get to it, I'll tell you. But it was just like, so like, there was some deep parts to it that were really, funny and then deep at the same time, because the divine masculines, they tend to love to be full of humor. They do. They like to have that deep, dark humor. They love that deep, dark humor, okay? And they love to be sneaky in a very innocent way. They love to be, they love to play. Okay, they love to play. They love to be evasive. They love to say things without saying things. They love to be, in the silence a lot. Okay, and so they love to think and ponder in the silence. And so, a lot of the things that they do, as you start to gravitate more towards union on your own personal twin flame journey, if you're the divine feminine, then you start to really balance out the energies. And so you will experience some of the same things, and you'll start to really see from the divine masculine's perspective, based on the energy that you feel, how they are, and why they are the way they are. And so, I've really been tapping in. And so I've been feeling that energy. I understand, a little more about things from their perspective. And so this song is going to give us more of an insight as to what the divine masculines go through, and kind of gives us like a little synopsis on how they are coming to be on this journey. It's all about a becoming, okay, you guys? This is a big journey of becoming your best self, becoming aware of who you are, becoming aware of what your mission is on earth. It's a becoming journey. It's just about opening up, developing into who you're meant to be. And so it's nothing to judge. It's nothing to be ashamed of if you go through ups and downs. It's nothing to be hard on yourself about, okay? Because there's going to be times that you don't understand what's going on or what you're going through and what your body's going through, or what your mind is taking you through. But you're going to have to trust the process, okay? Trust the process. Watch for the signs and synchronicities that show you that you're on the right path, and start really, really trusting your intuition as well, because you have it within you to know how to heal on this journey. You're finding the right videos to watch. You're here on this channel because you're ready to heal. My channel is not for the faint of heart. It's not for people who come on here and just decide, oh, well, I'm going to listen to a video and see if it's entertaining enough for me. No, this channel is really impactful because it has so many, different depths to it, so many different elements of, like I said, healing modalities that are in this journey, in this channel that I've put into playlists and into the songs that I've written. Not even realizing it until I really went into the song lyrics and started to see how much they really, really talk about how to heal on this journey, okay? So, so the divine masculines want to say something, okay? And this is what I've been led to talk about today on this particular video, in this video on this particular day. And so I wanted to go ahead and get right on into it. So we're going to talk about Kiss from a Rose by Seal. And just to give you a little bit of background on this song, it came out in the 90s, and it was a very popular song. It was actually one of Seal's most popular songs. And from what I read, when I Googled the song, he was a little ashamed of it, when he first wrote it. And he made a demo of it and a tape, and he, basically threw it into the corner and didn't like it. He still has kind of a love-hate relationship with it, so to speak. But, one of his friends that was trying to help him get discovered told the person that was actually I think it was like someone who was a producer that was listening to his music and trying to figure out what they were going to put on his album. They were picking out songs together, but then his friend mentioned that he should really ask about this song about a rose. And so the producer asked about it, and then, lo and behold, this becomes one of the top songs that he ever has written, and most people know him for this song. So, you know, that is the little bit about the background of it. So just knowing that he was going through something at the time that he wrote that, was just amazing for me because, like I said, everything that we do, a lot of things that we do that are beautiful come from a long, hard journey full of pain. Okay. And apparently, obviously during that time, he was going through a lot of pain to be able to write something so profound like this. And a lot of times as artists, we don't even know that when we're going through something, that what we're doing is profound and that it's going to have an impact on people. We just hope that it will, and the same thing with my music. I had no idea that, 2 years later, I was going to be making a YouTube channel, and being able to talk about the lyrics to my own songs because, I knew they were impactful. I knew they were deep. I knew they were really good, but I didn't get much response from people as far as, I wasn't getting a lot of plays and I wasn't getting a lot of recognition. And, I didn't really have the money to put into marketing and promotion. So, of course, it wasn't going to happen that way like that. But, I was still, hoping that some people were going to be impacted by the songs that I wrote, and to the point where I would be able to see the progression and see the fan base building and all that. So, but it wasn't meant to be for that time period. When I first wrote these songs, I was posting them on Instagram, and just trying to make little video clips of different visual things that I thought might be good for the videos to go with the lyrics. And it was really beautiful. A lot of times, if you go to my main page, like I told you, you can see those videos. And I just did right before I did the Varday week, I did a week of some of my unreleased music, and I put videos up for the whole week of that I had lost my voice because obviously I couldn't sing. So I was having to put up previous videos that I had to bring out of my archives and put them and post them on my Instagram page. So it was really kind of nice to go back over my own songs, some of the ones that just didn't, get noticed as much, but they were still really, really good. So, but anyway, as artists, we don't know all the time how much of an impact a song is going to have. And so we just tend to, trust the divine forces that are working through us in our minds, in our hands when we're writing with our pen. And we just allow that energy to flow, that creative energy to flow. And sometimes, if you're, really in tune or really in touch with your intuition and your spirit, and you're writing a song, songwriting is very spiritual, and any type of art that is done for the purpose of, making people, notice something different about themselves, or notice what love is, or to be able to share, experiences about our own personal journeys, are usually, any type of experiences like that are usually done when you're writing about it. It's just very, very sacred, and you really have some kind of you're really going through something when you're in that process. And if you are really good at tapping in and allowing yourself to really go with the flow and allow the emotions and the words to flow freely, you can write a really good song in a short period of time. And that's what I was doing when I was writing a lot of the songs that I have been sharing with you guys during 2021 and 2020. Okay, so that was the year that between 2020 and 2021 that I was writing a lot of songs. And I even wrote songs for my divine masculine. And so, they were just coming to me, and I'd be writing them in like 15 minutes. And it would be just amazing how much, the melody would come first, and then the song would come, and then the lyrics would come, and I would just be like, wow, this is coming from another source. This is coming from the divine. And, as I was on this journey, I realized that, this was a creative energy that I was tapping into that was coming from up above. And it wasn't something that was just, yes, I'm writing it, but I don't credit myself with having the knowledge and the know-how to create these songs. I credit it with the source or the divine. Okay. So I'm pretty sure Seal probably feels the same way about, when he was writing this song. Okay, so let's get on into the song. The first line says, "There used to be a graying tower alone on the sea." Okay, let's pause right there for a minute. So um, in this line, it says there used to be a graying tower. Now, I want to share something with you guys, and this is what we're going to do throughout these lyrics. Is we're going to share some things that I've been told by the Divine Masculine Collective Energy, and from my spirit guides to share with you guys. So I'm going to say it, and this is what I was hesitant about, because I was like, okay, really? I want me to say this, but it is what they want me to say. And, the Divine Masculines are going to understand it. They're going to get it. But they want their Divine Feminines to understand it too. Okay, so there used to be a graying tower alone on the sea. And I want to talk about the word graying, okay? Because that is a descriptive word. It's an adjective that is describing something in the form of a color, or a and this is a color that's monochromatic. Okay, so gray is a different kind of color. It's really not something you can distinguish per se. There's so many different variants of gray, and instead of being just black or white, there's a lot of different variations of gray. So that's one thing, is that you can't really quite put a finger on what gray is. Excuse me. And then it's a tower also. So you're talking about a tower that's standing alone on the sea. And in my opinion, this tower represents the Divine Masculine, okay? And in that sense, if you're going to take it into tarot, okay, so the Tower card is a lot of times associated with going through stormy weather, going through different types of challenges in your life. And so, this is fitting. This is fitting because a graying tower representing the Divine Masculine, okay, alone on the sea, okay? And so this is what they feel a lot of times. They feel alone. They feel like they're out there by themselves, just kind of getting through life. They might even be successful. They might have a lot of things going for them on the outside, but on the inside, they feel gray. They feel like there's so much, that they just can't really put a finger on inside of them. There's just so many thoughts that are going through their mind. There's so much feeling. There's so much emotion that they really haven't been able to put into words. They feel a lot. These Divine Masculines are super emotional, but they just don't show it. Okay, they bottle everything up inside. And so as this process takes place, as they start to become more and more bottled up inside, they start to experience more and more of a graying process, okay? And this is what they kind of wanted me to explain, is that, when you're going through a process of, you might be, like I said, like successful with your job or your career. You might have the best or the newest car or the newest phone, or you might have, even a person in your life that everybody else would consider to be hot, or, they just consider is so amazing, and, but if you're not satisfied spiritually and happy with this person or these things that you have accumulated, or this job, and you start to feel this dullness in your life, okay, you start to feel this aching, this dull ache, because you know that you're not happy, and you really, really start to gray inside. You start to become more lifeless, and start to feel a lot less like you have any type of joy or spark inside of you. You're just going through the motions, okay? And so this is what a lot of times the Divine Masculine is feeling at the time that he encounters his Divine Feminine, okay? And so I want to break the word graying down just a little bit more, because Spirit told me that there's 3 different aspects of graying. Okay, there's a physical graying that you go through, a spiritual graying that you go through, and there's a graying in sexuality that I want to talk about. So, and the Divine Masculines all, have this experience where they, they feel so out of place sometimes. They feel like there's just so much going on within them. They can't express it to anyone. They might be, like I said, high up in their rank as far as their job, and and they might not have anybody to turn to because they are being looked at as a leader in their career, but they need to be able to share what's going on in their personal life with someone, and it's hard to find good friends. It's hard to find people that will understand them, that they're not happy, and they just don't know how to express that. So the physical graying that they go through is like, they just start to feel dull. They start to feel, even though they might look so handsome on the outside, or, I'm going to say, like I said, divine masculine can be a man or woman. So please take it how it resonates. Okay, this is the energy we're talking about. So I'm going to say handsome because it's just easier to say, but you can be a divine masculine and be a woman. Okay, so they just feel, even though they might be looked at on the outside as being very, very attractive to people, or having all the features, or maybe having nice, a nice body or whatever. They might be working out, they might be doing everything right, they might be even, somewhat healthy as far as the way they eat or carry themselves, but something about them physically just still isn't satisfied, and so they go through a graying process. And okay, you guys got to forgive me for this, but as far as the divine masculines go, but you guys told me, as far as when I was channeling this message, that the best example of a graying physically person is who? Schmeagol from Lord of the Rings. So you guys, kind of told me that Schmeagol was going to be the representative of this image, And so Schmeagol has this gray, cast over his skin. And why is that? Because he was, so entranced with this ring, that he became, more crippled and more just inside of himself. He just got more and more desperate to be something with this ring, to have this power that this ring was supposed to have within it. He got so greedy about wanting to have it that he lost touch with who he was as a true, as a true being, as a true elf, or I'm sorry, not elf. He's a, I forget what he is. Hobbit. Yes, there you go. As a hobbit. And so, he lost touch with who he truly was, his true self. Okay, and he became this small, crippled, gray creature. Okay, and so physically, on the outside, the divine masculine might look as though they are put together, but on the inside, they feel like a Schmeagol. Okay, and this is what they told me. Okay, y'all told me this, so don't get mad at me. Just don't kill the messenger. Okay, so this is what happens to the masculine before they meet their twin flame. Okay, and this goes for any connection. Physically, the masculine might be looking put together on the outside, and sometimes they might even have, certain things about them. Their skin, might look a little cast of gray, because they might feel, that lifelessness, and it starts to show on their physical appearance, or their eyes might not have the spark in them that they used to have, or, they just might have been a little less, well, they're just going to not show a lot of signs of wealth and health and internal spiritual wealth, okay, and physical wealth, okay. So they're going to show those different aspects of graying in their physical form. And, a lot of times this is talked about too, is that the divine masculines might appear older, when you first meet them as a divine feminine, because they are going through this, they're going through this process where they've really kind of like gone into an inside cave. The divine masculines have an ability to really, like I said, go inside and hold things in. And so when they're in that internal cave, they're going through a lot of grief and despair and worry. They worry a lot about what their life is. How are they being represented? How are they really leaving a legacy behind in their life? They worry about a lot of things, okay? And so that can cause them to look physically worn down. And this is what I was getting at, and this is why they call themselves Schmeagles, okay? Because they look physically worn down, and they might even have a tinge of gray tone to their skin because they're just so full of worry and it's really what it is their aura is showing that darkness, because they've allowed themselves to take on so much dark energy, so much of the density that comes along with holding on to, you know, a lot of the problems that come and arise in your lifetime, that they become very dense, and they start to their aura becomes more dim, and so they don't show the bright colors, the bright lights that they want to show. You know, they lose something. You know, they lose touch with that color in their life. Okay, so spiritually, this is what graying is about too. Is when I just talked about the aura, I went right into it without even realizing that spiritually their aura is turning more and more gray. Okay, and so they're feeling a lack of drive, lack of motivation. They're feeling like they don't have friends. They're feeling very alone, and so they're really when they go home, you know, a lot of times, you know, they might even go out with friends or coworkers, and you know, have some drinks or whatnot, and act like they're really, you know, into it, and act like they're having fun. But when they go home, they're just miserable. They collapse on their bed. They just really, you know, feel like, you know what, and they just, not only because they drank, but because they were just, you know, not happy, you know. And so this is the state of mind that they go through as well. Okay, so this is what happens when you first are meeting your twin flame for the first time, and they're the divine masculine and you're the divine feminine. And what I talked about in the last video is that how much the divine feminine has started to awaken before she meets the masculine. So this falls right into play with what I'm telling you guys as far as the divine feminine waking up first. Okay, this song is amazing as far as how it predicts this, and how it really just does shed light on the subject. Okay, just like I described it to you guys in my previous videos. So the divine feminine wakes up first on this journey. And so when she's awakened, she's shining. Her light is shining bright. Okay. But we're going to get to that in a second. So the last one I was going to talk to you guys about is graying in a sexual sense. Okay. Sexually, there are different stages that a divine masculine goes through when they're learning who they are as a sexual being. And that goes for divine feminines as well. Okay. They go through a period of time where they're trying to figure out what this is all about, as far as who they are sexually as a sexual being. And there is a term that has been coined called gray A, which is gray asexuality. And I didn't realize that until I started doing research on the subject of graying. And so I realized, hey, this is a term that starts to shed light on some subjects as far as what maybe the divine masculines go through in terms of sexual identity. Okay, so a gray A is someone who is between asexual and sexual. Okay, so they sometimes might not have any sexual drive, and then other times they might be over or hypersexual, or they might just be in between, you know, and they just don't know where they fit in. Okay, but a lot of the divine masculines are going to fall into the demisexual category, which is someone who experiences sexual attraction only after a strong emotional bond is established. Okay, and this is a word that I started to see pop up on my Instagram when I was starting to learn about, you know, different twin flame connections, and how different twin flames can interact. And, you know, sometimes your counterpart might not be sexually active, or, you know, in some cases, you know, the counterpart might have been a virgin, you know, and a lot of these divine masculines might be virgins. Okay, a lot of the ones that are truly really heavily into their spirituality, and, you know, they just really know there's something different about them. They do have a tendency to be sacred when it comes to their sexuality. They don't, you know, just give out themselves freely. They really tend to hold on to a lot of things inside of them that will allow them to share that in a private way with the internal divine feminine that they have. Okay, so it's beautiful because they are actually holding on to that sexuality because they want to be able to share it with someone who they know is going to be able to reciprocate. And a lot of times they've been through so much in the past that they are feeling, you know, as though, you know, they've been let down, they've been betrayed, you know, and it doesn't mean that, you know, all the divine masculines are, that way. But I'm just giving you examples of people or divine masculines who have come to know this about themselves. If they are demisexual, it's because of a reason. It's because, that's the way they were created, okay, to not have that kind of over sexual nature. And so they may not even get aroused unless they're with someone who has a strong emotional bond with them, and that could be male or female. So it just depends, on what they are able to connect with in the spiritual realm and emotionally, okay? So, and a lot of times, like I said, these twin flame connections are dealing with people in this situation, okay? And the reason I wanted to go back to the reason why I put on this white rose is because even though when you normally think of a rose, the first thing you probably think of is a red rose, I wanted to kind of bring up the question to you guys. What is sexual purity to you? As a side note, this is not something you have to answer, but if you do want to, you can go ahead and jot it into the comment section. But, I've been really thinking about this a lot lately, and maybe I'll devote a video to that later on. On this twin flame journey, what does sexual purity mean to you? To me, it means that, after being awakened on this journey, you start to go through a process of purification that allows you to realize that you are innocent on this journey, and that you are, no matter what you went through in the past, you become like a fresh, flower. You just become pure again. And so I wore the white rose because it's a symbol of purity. And so a lot of times, like I said, we're talking about, a lot of the divine masculines or the people that are really, really in tune with their spirituality being virgins, and so, or even feminists that are virgins, that are saving themselves because they wanted, their experience to go to that one person, and a lot of times people end up becoming more celibate as they go on to this, as they enter this journey, which is what happened with me. I've been celibate for several years now. And so, that's just my personal choice. But I just wanted you guys to know that, there are different things that come up on your journey. None of it's good or bad. It's not something you need to judge, or it's not something you need to, try to make a practice if it's not something that is speaking to you. But there are people on this journey who tend to start to revere sexual purity in a very major way, on this journey. And so that's why I kind of wanted to bring up this topic of demisexual and gray A, because I feel like it really pertains to the transitional period that we go through on this journey, not only physically and spiritually, but sexually as well. Okay, so I hope this is, interesting to you guys enough to want to keep going here. I know I'm already 30 minutes in, but I want you guys to realize that this is very important information that has been channeled to me, and I hope that it's helping you, to understand your divine masculine more, and also maybe yourself more. There is such a thing as revirginization, I feel, on this process of, of this twin flame journey, and I don't think a lot of people talk about that either, but I do feel like it's something worth speaking about. This is, I just, for me, I've been so amazed about how many different things come up on this journey, in terms of when you have to relearn everything, you unlearn everything to try to learn new things, learn new things that are acceptable, or that are just, pertaining to your path, that are resonating with you on your journey. And so it's up to you to pick out what it is that you want to represent yourself with on this journey. So you don't have to go with everybody else's definition of who you are. You don't even have to call yourself a twin flame. You don't have to say that you're this or that, or that you practice this or that. You don't have to do any of that. You can just simply be yourself. And that's what the main part of this journey is about, is becoming yourself. Like I said, becoming. I love the word becoming because it's been a very big theme in a lot of things that I've been associated with lately, and it just really fits into this transitional period that we're going through. I always reference the cocoon and the little caterpillar making its cocoon and becoming the butterfly. This is where we're at right now. We're all going through that, and so soon we're going to come and emerge from this cocoon as a butterfly, and we're going to be in our full beauty and be able to spread our wings and fly, okay, and be able to really see how this journey is affecting us in a positive way. You know, you're going to see all of the fruits of what you've been working so hard at, you know, when you're getting towards your union, when you're going toward closer and closer towards union. Trust me, if you're at the beginning of this journey, trust me, it gets better. It really does. I know you guys go through a lot of pain at the beginning, and this is what the song talks about, you know. So this is why the Divine Masculines want me to share with you what they go through at the beginning of this journey. This is the song, Kiss from a Rose. This is why they're the graying tower, okay? They've been going through some stuff. And so when they meet you, they feel like they're kind of disheveled schmeagles, okay? And so, you know, the Divine Feminine is going to come in and let's go to the next line, because I keep getting ahead of myself. And you became the light on the dark side of me. What? Okay, so what does that mean? That means that the Divine Masculine recognizes that the Divine Feminine is the light, okay? And so you became the light on the dark side of me. They were in a dark space. They were in a place where they just couldn't see the light, okay, for so long. They were on this dark sea. You know, when you're in the middle of the sea and it's nighttime, you really don't know what direction is what. You know, you can't see the directions to go in. You know, you're basically lost out there, especially if you're, you know, on a ship or something and you have no stars out there. The clouds are too thick and dense for you to be able to see anything. You know, when a lot of times when the ships are coming into shore, you know, this is why you have the lighthouse there, to keep them from crashing. Because if they didn't have the lighthouse there to shine the light, which is what the Divine Feminine represents, to shine the light to guide the masculines home, who are the gray towers, the gray ships that are coming into shore. They want relief. They want something to, you know, make them feel whole again, to make them feel beautiful and like they can tackle and conquer the world again, you know. So this is what the Divine Feminine represents. And so she's the lighthouse, okay? I do love that description because this is fitting perfectly into this song, okay? She's the lighthouse, okay? And so 3 different variations of what light means in this particular line for the Divine Feminine, which represented to the masculine, is that they are physically, to the Divine Masculine, they are hot, okay? So that is one of the things that I thought was cute, because when I was tapping in and I'm like, so physically, you know, how is the Divine Feminine the light to you? And they're like, well, she's hot. So they're like, they obviously love your body. They love, you know, what you look like. They love your eyes. They love everything about you. They love everything. You just the way you are. They love you when they first see you, when they first lay eyes on you. They love your whole demeanor, your whole countenance, okay? And so they see your glow up, okay? They see it. And so they may not know you, because if you're meeting them for the first time, they don't know what all you've been through to get to this glow up, but you're starting to glow up on this journey. And so this is why you've attracted them to you, and this is where you've had your initial meeting, okay? Your first encounter with your twin flame, okay? And so physically, yeah, you're hot to them, okay? Spiritually speaking, you're the lighthouse. You are a symbol of beauty. You are just so full of, you know, passion and fire, that they just see you as this flame that just doesn't die. It just keeps burning and keeps burning. And so spiritually, that's what the twin flame is, right? It's that spark that is ignited within you. And so spiritually speaking, the Divine Feminine represents the spark or the flame that is the twin flame in the connection, okay? And so she lights his fire. She lights his fire. And of course, sexually, you know, there can be so many different ways to describe how the Divine Feminine is, you know, the light sexually. But one of the reasons, one of the explanations that I was given was that they ignite their loins, okay? And I don't know why they use that term loins, but y'all are crazy. But anyway, they like, yeah, she does something to me. So going back to that demisexual, If they are demisexual, you basically awaken that sexuality in them, okay, as the divine feminine. And this, I'm getting such vibes right now that is so funny. That is just like, you know, the masculines are like, yeah, this is it. So uh, you ignite their loins, divine feminine. You set them on fire, okay? And so that's how you guys interact, you know, when you first meet and you first encounter each other. You are the light on the dark side of me. And love remained a drug that's the high and not the pill. Okay, so love, you know, love was the flame that the divine feminine brought to the table and into this connection. And she was so full of love because why? Her heart chakra was open first. Remember, I told you guys, go back to the separation sex playlist. Separation sex playlist, and you'll be able to see what I talked about as far as the divine feminine's heart chakra opening first. And then she ends up connecting with the divine masculine when she first meet him. And that was what makes his heart go boom, 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 boom. And so he starts to feel that. And so he starts getting that high from that love that she's sending his way, you know, for whatever brief encounter you have, whether you've been able to spend time with them, whether you've been able to have FaceTimes and you see their eyes on the FaceTime and you really understand, you know, that there's something going on, there's some kind of connection. You started to make that divine masculine's heart beat faster and faster and pound stronger and stronger to the point where he has to acknowledge it because he knows that there's something going on in this connection that is not typical, that is not like every other connection that he's ever had with any other woman or any other man. Okay? And that is why love remained a drug that's the high and not the pill. He's on a high, constantly around you. Whenever he looks at your picture, whenever he sees you, you know, walking by, whenever he just sees you in motion, whether he's watching you on your social media, taking note of what you're doing and how you're growing and the things you're doing on your mission, and you're starting to do all these things to get yourself healthy and you're cleansing your chakras and you're going through the process of healing and becoming a better person. You're getting to be into your highest self, and oh my God, he just looks at you in such awe, you know, and he has such a high that comes from just seeing you in your glow up. This is all what it's about. And it's not that he's taking pills, you know, but I did want to bring up this. A lot of people have tried to make mention of this song as having been a reference to, you know, a drug addiction. Okay, and there is going to be something that talks about that later on. But, you know, the divine masculines do want you to know that some of them are addicted to drugs when you first meet them. And so a lot of times, or alcohol, or whatever it is that they have an addiction to, you know, whether it's, you know, a bad habit, you know, gambling, alcohol, drugs. They might be really bad with their finances. They might have addictions to spending. You know, they might be into physical things or material things, excuse me. They might be into having lots of money and cars. And, you know, they don't want you to know how truly, and I'm going to use the word weak because that's the word they're giving me, weak they can be when it comes to addictions, okay? So, so the pill is representative of this weakness that they have, okay? When they try to go and, you know, drown out a lot of their pain by using their addiction to kind of, you know, make them go numb, okay? So, but when they meet you, they start realizing they don't even need that drug anymore or that addiction anymore. They start to realize that you're the high, your love is the high that causes them to feel such a surge of energy all at once that continues to linger around and to be with them even long after you spent time together. You know, your energies are going to intertwine in such a way whereas you both are going to feel this high. And so that's what's going to make them rethink whether or not that they really need to continue hanging on to these addictions or not, okay? And so a lot of times this is why you go into separation, because the divine masculine doesn't want you to know just how weak they've been as far as before meeting you and allowing themselves to get to the point where they are addicted to things, you know, and they are having these this bad time when they're alone, you know. And so they don't want you to know. And so a lot of times they're like, man, I don't have it together. I have to get, my life together. I can't show her just how weak I am. I can't show her just how much I'm addicted to drugs or alcohol, how I keep going back to it, even though I know it's not healthy for me. They think of all of these things in their mind, and they get scared and they run because they know they have work to do on themselves. They know they're not ready. They know they're not ready to meet up to the standard that you need them to be as far as they're in this connection. They're not there yet. So that's why a lot of times they run, okay? And they want you to know this, all right? Because they need to go and they need to do the healing work on their own as well. And as you're doing the healing work, Divine Feminine, your masculine is also doing the healing work, okay? Because you're the light. You're the lighthouse. And as you shine bright, they can't help but gravitate towards that light and do the things that they need to do to shine as well, okay? See how beautiful this is coming together? All right, let's keep going because I do want to get through these lyrics because I feel like, this is going really strong right now. And so the next line says, but did you know that when it snows, my eyes become large and the light that you shine can be seen? Okay, so what happens in a snowstorm? This is a literal interpretation, but if you're out at sea and you're in a snowstorm, it's like I said, again, it's hard to see, where you're coming in, on shore because there's just too much going on in the atmosphere. There's a blizzard, there's snow going all around. You really can't see. And there was a really good movie, man, I don't know the name of it, but it was a while back, like maybe 8 years ago or something like that. It was a really cool movie about the ships that were coming in off of the sea, and there was a big storm. I have a feeling it's like a really significant time period in history that is kind of based on that. Yeah, it's based on a period in history where this was a really big storm, and so it was off the New England coast, and it was about how these women, wow, it's amazing. It's about how these women had to go and be the lighthouse, basically. I'm like, man, Spirit, look how they just put that in my mind right now to think about it, because I hadn't thought about this at all until now. But there's a movie where there's a big storm off the East Coast, and these ships are having to try to come in to shore, and these are warships. I think these are Navy ships or something like that, and the men that are trying to rescue some of these ships that have gotten lost in the storm, they have to go out on ships of their own and try to beacon these other ships back in, but they are relying on the women to keep maintaining the light at the lighthouse, okay, and to keep the light and the the directions, the signals that they need to be able to know where to go, because they still have their technology and they can see where a lot of these places and ships are, but the ships are having a hard time gauging where they are in the ocean. It was such a good movie, but it was all about how these couples were so afraid that their spouses were going to get lost at sea and get basically die because of the storm and get shipwrecked. But if they had these boats that are tugboats, I think, that were going out there to guide them back in, if they were able to get people that were able to guide the ships back in, then they were going to be safe. And in the end, it was all about how they all worked together to get these ships back to shore. Okay. Amazing movie. If you ever get a chance to watch it, and maybe if somebody knows, please put it in the comments below, because like I said, there's going to be lots of movie references, and somebody out there is a big movie buff that knows these movies and can share that with the group. Okay. So anyway, so when it snows, my eyes become large and the light that you shine can be seen. Okay, so it's very important for the Divine Feminine not to lose sight of what she is doing in her own life to cause her light to shine. Okay, this is why you cannot allow yourself as a Divine Feminine to fall into deep depression or despair. No matter how painful it gets, I don't care if you feel like giving up, you have to keep going on this journey, because you're going to see not only yourself come out of these dark situations as well. You know, if you continue to go through the healing process and find channels like this one, and find people that you can resonate with that are sharing, you know, good ways of healing on your journey, because your divine masculine needs to see that light. Because if you go down, if you stop shining your light as a divine feminine, your masculine is not gonna complete the mission, okay, and come into union with you, and they're going to keep running, okay. They're going to keep running because they're not going to be able to see where the light is. You guys need to shine that light to keep them coming home, okay. You're their home, and you're keeping them coming home, and that's what your beacon of light is doing, okay. So that they're admitting to you at this, in this line, that when, you know, their life is chaotic, when it snows, when they have things like addictions to get over and overcome, they need to see your light, and they're looking for it. Trust me, they are looking for it. They are keeping tabs on you. They're keeping tabs on your social media. They're keeping tabs on what you're doing spiritually and emotionally and energetically as well. They can sense if you're on your high vibrational status, or if you're just kind of like giving up. They sense that, okay? And if you start giving up, my angels are like, yes, keep going. Talk about it. If you start giving up as a divine feminine, your masculine is going to give up too, because they're not going to feel the motivation and the energy that they need to keep going. This is not to say that you're responsible for their change. This is just saying that energetically, you guys are a match. And so if one of you guys stops shining your light, okay, you guys are both going to fizzle out, okay? And nobody wants that. Nobody wants to see that happen, you know, on this journey. Nobody wants to see you go off on the deep end and start losing it and not be able to, you know, come into union. You guys have what it takes. You have what it takes. Your intuition, your spirit team is leading you to where you need to be in order for you to heal on this journey, okay? And this is why in the next line, the beautiful chorus says, baby, I compare you to a kiss from a rose on the gray. Okay, so I want to tell you guys that when I started learning this song, I always used to sing it this way. Baby, I compare you to a kiss from a rose on the grave, okay? And it still fits, you know, because a grave is gray. You know, a lot of graves or tombstones or markers, you know, when you're at a burial plot and you have the slab that marks the spot of the burial of the grave, it is gray, okay? And so it's just another way of explaining how lifeless and dead sometimes the masculines can feel inside. And when you get a kiss from a rose, it's like having, you know, like when you place a rose on a grave site, you know, and I'm going to use the red rose because a lot of times that's what you're seeing, you know, when you see people going to a grave site, putting red roses on a grave. It's just like given the grave a kiss, you know, kiss from a rose on the grave, you know, and that red rose stands out so beautifully on the slab of gray there on the ground, you know, or on the tombstone. It just looks like it's, you know, bringing something to that lifeless stone, you know. And so, you know, when you see pictures of tombstones or graves, you know, it's just like when a rose is placed there, it's a symbol of love, and it's just like it brings the whole area that to life, you know. And this is what the rose represents in the divine masculine's interpretation. It's like you're the rose as a divine feminine. You're the rose, and giving them that kiss, you know, from a rose. You're just bringing them into more of a life. They've been lifeless for so long that they feel alive when you put your kiss on them. When you give them that light. When you first make love to them. When you just experience that togetherness for the first time, no matter how intimate or, you know, or brief it is, you know, you're experiencing all of that together because you are such a beautiful rose to the masculine, okay? And, you know, one of the things my masculine, you know, calls me in my own experience, in my telepathic connection with my divine masculine, he calls me a rose, you know, and that's one of my nicknames. And so it has a really significant and special meaning for me when I hear that, you know, and this is why this song is really, really touches my heart and is very dear to my heart. Ooh, the more I get of you, the stranger it feels. Yeah. Why is it strange? is strange because they are becoming awakened to this journey. Oh my God. That just slid right on in there because I didn't know I was going to say that. But the stranger is because they're becoming awakened to this journey based on the divine feminine's, um, you know, presence. Okay, her light, her energy, her warmth, her home, her sense of being home. And stranger isn't a bad thing in this situation. It's just telling you that there's something going on. And the divine masculines want you to know that they feel it. Okay, that's what they're basically saying. We feel whatever is going on when you are sending us your energy, when you're sending us your love, when you're meditating and you're going within and you're doing the things for yourself to make yourself feel good. They love to feel you feel good. And that is something that is very attractive to them, and they don't understand it quite. They don't really know why is it happening, or what you're kind of doing. They might have somewhat of a little bit of an insight, because of their remote viewing and astral traveling, which we're going to get into on another video. But for the most part, they just sense that you're at peace. They sense that you're home. They sense that they can feel warmth in your energetic presence, and so that's why they're always constantly magnetized to you. And so it's strange to them because they're just like, why is this person so magnetic to me? Why are they able to draw me in? Why do I keep coming back for more? Why do I keep energetically wanting them? Every time I can get my hands on them, I want them in my presence. I want to feel them, to touch them. I want to see them. I want to stare at them in their eyes. It's the feels, okay? The more I get of you, the stranger it feels, yeah. And now that your rose is in bloom, a light hits the gloom on the gray, okay? So beautiful, okay? So the divine masculine is telling you that you are the rose. You are in bloom when you're doing your work, when you're doing everything you need to do to love yourself as a divine feminine. The light hits the gloom on the gray. That light that you're shining is affecting them. They're feeling it. They're seeing the light. They're feeling it. They're feeling the energy that you're sending their way. So, so beautiful. Okay? There is so much a man can tell you, so much he can say. Okay? Now with this, I feel like the divine masculines are trying to tell you that, there's a lot they want to say to you. There's so much they want to say to you. And when you're in separation and you're not having any communication with your divine masculine, it can be very painful. Like I just told you guys in my last video, I was crying because I haven't had, communication with my divine masculine. But at the same time, I know that he feels a certain way about me. And that's going to be right here in the next line. You remain my power, my pleasure, my pain. Baby, to me, you're like a growing addiction that I can't deny. Won't you tell me, is it healthy, baby? Wow. The divine masculines are something. I mean, they are really sharp with their way of coming to grips with things and describing things. And, the energy is just, amazing. I just want to give them a shout out because they get a bad rep a lot of time. The divine masculines are not bad. They're not, they're not the bad person, okay? So don't ever look at them like that. They're telling you right here, you remain, okay? What does remain mean? Does that mean it ends? No, it means it remains, okay? You remain all the time, not just some of the time, but all the time. My power, my pleasure, my pain. And pain is just the fact that he knows that you're there to trigger him into becoming a better version, the best version of himself. Okay. And so that's what they're sharing with you. It doesn't mean that you're causing them pain because you want to see them hurt. It means that they know that you've been triggering them to become the best version of themselves. They know it. They know it, and they just don't have the words to tell you. And that's why they're saying there is so much a man can tell you, so much he can say, but did they say it? Probably not. But they want to say it. They want to, but a lot of times they don't, okay? And so you're just, like I said, they love the silence because it feels more comforting to them. And they in their little inner man cave when they're inside their own minds. And so they tend to be in their headspace a lot. And this is why I told you guys in that video that they are always in their headspace, at the beginning, and then the divine feminine wakens their heart space. Okay, she connects with their heart. All right, so to me, you're like a growing addiction that I can't deny. Okay, now this is where he talks about addiction again, but it's obviously clear by the way that he's saying it that it's not a addiction that is unhealthy, but he's kind of questioning it. He's like, I can't deny I'm so attracted to you. I'm so addicted to you. I keep coming back for more. I love your energy. I love what you do to me. I love the way you look. You're so hot. You are amazing. I see your glow up, and I know that you're beautiful because you're the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Um, but I'm just a little bit hesitant because I don't know how to deal with this. I don't know exactly what to do, what to say, how to come at you. I'm not ready yet. And so that's why he's like, won't you tell me, is it healthy, baby? He's just kind of like questioning. And so they go through their doubts, just like the divine feminines. They go through their doubts as to whether or not this journey is really true, or whether or not they're going through these actual emotions that they're going through with you. Is it really her? Is it really, the energy that she's sending me? Is she really my twin flame? They go through the same doubts and fears that you have as a divine feminine. But, they are just, learning it just like we are as they go. Okay. And so they say, is that healthy, baby? Well, come to find out, it's going to be, because once they do the healing work, they're going to be healthy. And they're going to know that it was all for the best, okay? Then it says, but did you know that when it snows, my eyes become large and the light that you shine can be seen? Okay, and then it goes back into the chorus. Baby, I compare you to a kiss from a rose on a grave. See, I said it again. On the grave. Ooh, the more I get of you, the stranger it feels, yeah. And now that your rose is in bloom, a light hits the gloom on the gray. And then the bridge goes, I've been kissed by a rose on the gray. I've been kissed by a rose on the gray. And if I should fall, will it all go away? Okay, this is where the divine masculine is putting in that little slip of, their secret way of being vulnerable by putting in that little note and that little line right there that Seal did. It's just perfect. It's just like the perfect little insert, that shows you that they're really, really concerned about their insecurities and what happens if they were to lose everything. What would happen if they fell in love with you as the divine feminine and they decided to allow you into their heart completely, and they lost all of what they had? Will it all go away? Will your light go away? Will you still be shining the light for them if they lost everything? And you guys know, I'm in a celebrity twin flame connection, and I know my divine masculine wonders about this because he's a celebrity. So he would probably be thinking about this a lot as well on his side of the journey. If I lost everything, would she still want me? Of course I would love him. They're just the same. But they need to be reassured of that because they've been so used to being in the matrix, so used to being into the go, go, go mode, and to the achieve and grab and get and, acquire and attain. They've been in that mode for so long that they're afraid of losing it. And if, during their tower moment, okay, going back to the beginning of the song, if they become so toppled over in their tower moment that they stumble and fall and start to lose things and things start to crumble around them, will it all go away? Will your love go away? Will you still love them in their most difficult time, in their most, when they hit rock bottom? Will you still love them? And your test as a divine feminine is going to be to see whether or not you will love them. Because guess what? The divine masculine goes through his dark night of the soul after he meets the divine feminine. And so, by golly, betcha by golly, wow. Your divine masculine is going through his dark night of the soul when he runs after he's met you and he's seeing all of these things changing around him. He might lose his job. He might go through a period of depression. He might go through a karmic relationship. He might run to a karmic partner and get into a big mess financially with that karmic partner. He might get into a situation if he has a child with the karmic partner, or if he's had kids already, whereas his kids are, part of the reason why he's not able to be with you. And there become so many different factors in these tower moments. Look at what I'm giving y'all. I don't know about y'all, but I'm just like, Spirit, thank you, because I didn't know if I was going to get through this song, because I was just kind of like, are you real serious about what y'all want me to say? But look at how we just went full circle. We just talked about the whole dang journey, from the meeting to the separation, and now we're talking about the divine masculine going through his dark night of the soul after having met the divine feminine. So what does this mean to you, divine feminine? This means that you need to keep going on your journey, because while they're going through all this toppling down, this tower moment, you are needing to shine your light, because they need to see your light. And that's what's going to help pull them out of those dark moments, help get them through their tower moments and their dark night of the soul, okay? Your light. And what does that mean? That means you got to do the healing work. You got to keep going with whatever it is that's purging in you. Like I just talked about in my other videos, well, you're going to be purging a lot of emotions, and you're going to need to start thinking about how you can really be effective in this purging process. When you feel those emotions come up, you need to be able to let them come through, run its course, and then let it go, okay? You need to be meditating. You need to be doing everything that you need to do to cleanse your chakras and align your chakras, because your chakras aligning is going to also help your twin flames chakras align, okay? You guys are doing this journey together no matter what it looks like on the outside. I cannot stress that enough. You guys are doing this journey together no matter how it looks on the outside, okay? And this is why I can smile, because I've been there. I've been where you guys are. I've been through a lot of dark nights personally, all throughout my life. I've been through a lot of tower moments recently with having discovered that I had been in a false twin flame situation. And if you want to know more about that, go to the playlist section and look up my false twin experience. But man, it's just been crazy to see that I've been through a lot of this stuff that I'm telling you guys. The Kiss from a Rose is a song that pertains to the beginning of the journey, okay? But I'm going to eventually say that we're going to do a song later on down the line that is going to go through communication and separation and other things like that, because I feel like this is going to really help you guys, okay? So if this is helping you guys, I do need you guys to do something. Please give me a like. And if you are able to get up the courage to do so, please give me a comment and let me know that this is helping you. And if you don't want to do that, but you want to give in some other kind of way, I do have my PayPal and Cash App links in the description box so that you can send a donation. Whatever you want to do to show your appreciation is welcome. I don't like to ask for money, but I do want to say that, it helps, and I'm not going to refuse it. So donations are very welcome. Likes are very welcome. Comments are extremely welcome. Emails are welcome too. I have my email in the description box below as well. But I just want to tell you guys, this has been so fun for me to be able to share this insight on Kiss from a Rose with you guys and how it relates to the twin flame journey. This is your channeled message from your divine masculine. Everything he's wished he could say to you if you're in separation, this is what he wants to say to you. This is what he's been thinking about. And he's really sorry. He's very sorry that it is taking the amount of time that it's taking, that he's been running and that he's been going and not trusting the journey, not trusting the process. But he will get there. He will get there as long as you continue to shine your light, divine feminine. He will get there because he's giving you he's telling you right here in the song, you remain my power, my pleasure, my pain. And you're his addiction. He doesn't need those other things anymore. You are what he wants. And he's going to find his way back to you based on how much you're able to grow and to become your best version of yourself, raise your vibration, ascend, and meet in the higher. Meet each other in the higher, in the 5D. Send love to your twin flames. Both of you guys, if you're a masculine watching this, send love to your divine feminine. Keep her encouraged as well. If you're a divine feminine, send love to your divine masculine through meditation, through just think about, what you want your life to look like in the future with your divine masculine. If you really want this, you need to start making that a practice. Visualization, manifestation. Not that you're going to obsess over it, but you can spend a few minutes every day thinking about what you want this relationship to look like in the end. Okay, that's called manifesting. Okay, that's called putting in motion what you want from the universe and asking them for it. And then when you see that tend to come back around, you're going to say, thank you, universe. Thank you for listening to me and understanding me and to help me and helping me to continue on this journey so that I can shine the light for my divine masculine so that he can make his way into ascension just like me, and we can meet in the higher and have our union and be in harmonious union together, and and start our mission together, because this is what it's all about. All right, y'all, I love you guys so much. I am so thankful to the divine masculines for sending me these messages. I hope you guys enjoyed this particular video, and I know it's been long, but once again, I have to do it in the amount of time that the spirit is leading me to. And so I hope that you've been able to either watch it in different sections or straight through, whatever time period you have. Watch it again, later down the line. You're going to get something new out of it every time. All right, start going to the playlist section in my on the channel and see what resonates with you for your next healing series. Okay, thank you guys so much. I'm going to continue the celebrity twin flame and high status twin flame connections, signs and synchronicities in the next couple days, so that you guys can continue hearing different details about that as well. All right, thank you. I love you so much. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye. Well, I just had to come back on here and jump on here and say that I ended at 12:12 when I stopped my video recording. So I just wanted to say signs. All right, love you guys. Bye.